Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Ferrari F8 Tributo at Golden Max in its multiplayer season. Now this is a high-end A-class car that has one of the best handling stats in the entire game, above 90 in fact. So as you might be able to imagine, this is a very fun car to drive. It's not going to be the king of Class A, it's not quite fast enough for that I don't think, but it's very fun to drive in this season, and this was definitely one of the most fun multiplayer videos to make that I have in a while. It's unfortunate that this car is not all that easy to get in the special event for it, which I have now pretty much stopped playing. You can't get all the blueprints to unlock the car directly in the event. You can only get about half of them, and you have to get the other 25 or so through packs, and that's just to unlock this car, which is going to cost at least a few thousand tokens unless you get very good luck, which most people don't, including myself. So yeah, this car just is not really worth it to go for in its special event, I would say, because while it's good, again, this is at max. To get this car at max, or any other new car at max in the game that isn't a car hunt car, you're going to have to spend like 10, 20,000 tokens in order to do that. And unless it's a king like, say, the Valhalla or the F1LM, it's really not worth it to do so. Also, I keep telling people, GameLoft has said that there's a new Drive Syndicate coming in the next update, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bigger update, so that's another reason why I would recommend to save your tokens. It's kind of a sad thing when there are fewer and fewer cars that I can actually recommend people to go for in this game. And so you guys know recently I made the video about the new 1v1 multiplayer mode. I said that it was decent. It turns out that I was wrong. I actually had gotten the worst possible token reward for it, which is 50 when I spent 200 to get into it. I did get those Regera blueprints, which were pretty nice, but the problem with this is that you have to pay 200 tokens to get into the event every single time you want to play it, unless you are a Legend Pass player. And even if you are a Legend Pass player, you only get to get into it free once. Now, it lasts for a week, I believe, and after you play it once, you have a 24-hour cooldown. It's not just 200 to get in once, and then you can play the event every time. You have to pay 200 to get in every single time, which means if you wanted to play as many times as you could in that time, it would be over 1,000 tokens. And, I mean, the blueprints that I got were pretty good. I got the Regera Epic and the blueprints, but you're not even guaranteed to get that. You could just get some random A and S-class car parts. So it pains me to say this too, but I really don't think that that multiplayer mode, the 1 versus 1, is worth it either. I had some pretty good luck in the one that I did. By good luck, I kind of mean not facing good enough competition to have to worry about losing stuff. But of course it could happen that you come across a bunch of really good players, and then you end up losing a few races and you do not get much for your 200 tokens. Or I really can't imagine people spending more than that, like paying the 450 or whatever it is to go even higher up. It really just skips a few races, which unless you are constantly facing really good people that you can't beat, then it's really not worth it at all. Which is sad because I was really looking forward to it, and I did enjoy it when I played it. Now at the end of this race here, I somehow passed this guy at the very last second to come in first. That's probably one of the closest finishes that I had all season. Not the closest though, as we'll see in this next race. Oh, and this is something I'm really excited for. At 36,000 subscribers, I will be uploading my next Asphalt 9 music video. I posted a teaser to my Instagram about it, which I will link in the description, which shows the thumbnail of the video, which might look ever so slightly familiar, along with some censored text, which you might be able to figure out what it is, because that is going to be the name of the song. Let me know if you guys have any guesses of what it might be, but the song itself is finished. I just need to make the video at this point. Fun fact, I'd actually planned to make a different music video, but then in a stream recently, I think it was my most recent stream, somebody suggested something which I just latched onto, and it turned out to be an extremely good idea, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out, so I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy it as well. Might bring back a little bit of nostalgia. So coming up toward the end of this race here, I knew that if I was able to maintain a little bit more nitro than the guy ahead of me, I would possibly be able to pull out the victory here, so I used my break nitro trick. He ran out of nitro, and I nearly passed him at the last second. Thought I had, but that thing happened where the 1 turns to 2 at the very last second when you cross the finish line, and I did come in second place, but still, that was probably the closest race that I had all season. And now for the Caribbean, where I decided to take a slightly different route at the beginning, and it actually paid off. Because of this car's really great handling, you can take that corner with ease, and I pulled out into the first position, giving me at least a slight bit of a lead. Another thing that's coming up soon, in just a few days actually, is I'm going to be co-hosting ESL Mobile Open Season 6 Asphalt 9 Finals on November 15th at 2 p.m. Pacific Time. That would be 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, and 10 p.m. GMT. It's going to be set up very similarly to Season 5, which I also did a few months ago, and it was a lot of fun then, a real blast, so I really hope you guys can join me this time as well. I'll upload my third and final part of my little promo series sometime pretty soon. Coming back to the race at hand, we were able to extend our lead a little bit through there, and the Caribbean is actually one of my favorite tracks to drive this car on, just because it can get around the turns so effortlessly that it almost feels like it's floating at times. So the 599XX Evo event ended, and I didn't actually manage to get the top 10 in it. I was a couple of spots beyond that, unfortunately, so I'm not guaranteed the car, but I'll definitely see if I can get it through the packs. Hopefully my luck will continue. We are again facing this Legions United member, who I cannot pronounce his name, on San Francisco. Actually, the first of two races against him on San Francisco, both of which were pretty close. It's always so funny at the beginning of this variant to see everybody doing 360s off that bump in the road back there. A new sort of game mode was also added to Asphalt 8 recently called Gauntlet Mode, where you race other players, but it combines some aspects of tag racing where you get multiple cars that you use all at once. I think you have 5 here. Unfortunately, I still have not figured out how to play Asphalt 8 without not being able to play anything, if that made any sense. But they've also added the Dodge Tomahawk, which is a bike that people had made jokes and memes about being added. We didn't ever think it really would, but it actually looks pretty cool. It's this weirdly futuristic looking bike that was added in the Halloween update, along with a few other cars, including the Valhalla actually. They seem to be adding a lot of these same cars to Asphalt 8 and to Asphalt 9 recently, which makes sense, and I'm wondering if they'll add older cars that they've had in Asphalt 8 for a while, to Asphalt 9, like the Apollo IE. I feel like that's one that's most likely for them to add sometime, just because it's such an iconic car from Asphalt 8, and it just seems like the perfect one to add to Asphalt 9. I don't know where exactly they'd put it though, whether they'd put it in S-Class or A-Class. I'd almost suspect it to be a high-end A-Class car instead, but we'd have to see if that ever comes. I know in Asphalt 9, the car stats are more based on the car's real-life stats than in Asphalt 8, at least at stock. Obviously, at max, they're not going to be the same. But I'm curious where some of those cars that were very powerful in Asphalt 8, that got powerful only through a lot of upgrades, would fit in Asphalt 9. We have that happening with the BMW Homage, which in Asphalt 8 was a very powerful car, but that was only because its stock to max pro rank increase was very big, and in Asphalt 9 we got a car more like what you would see in real life. It's only got 300 to 400 horsepower, I think, which definitely does put it more down in Class C than in Class A, which it is in Asphalt 8. And in this race here, our second one against the Legions United member on San Francisco, we do take the victory. And next we are again traveling back to the Caribbean for the final race in the video, in which I will give my general review about this car. Just the car itself, just based on its stats and its driving and everything, is really good. It's not a king of its class. It's extremely high up there though. That seems to be a trend with a lot of cars being added recently, especially in this Ferrari update. Like, a lot of the new cars are very close to the top of their classes, but there's just this one stat that just keeps them from being just the very top one. In this case, it would be the lower top speed. It only goes up to around 233 miles per hour at Max Pro, which isn't particularly amazing compared to some of the other high-end A-Class cars. However, it's extremely agile, extremely fun to drive, definitely one of the most fun A-Class cars in the game to drive, in my opinion at least, and also in my opinion not really worth going for given the amount of tokens you'd have to spend to get it just at stock, where it is not going to be all that great anyway. It definitely won't drive nearly as good as it does at max. So I would definitely recommend to save your tokens on this one, see what the next update brings, which should be coming in around a month at this point. I'm just hoping we don't get any more pay-to-play features like we did with the 1 vs 1 tournament. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!